So if we can understand a bit more what happened on Raw. I understand this is a bit of a late review, but I don't really care because Raw is not worth me being on time. So we had an 8-man tag. I mean, we had a 6-man tag to open over the show after a New Day segment of their 15th reunion to each other. So it doesn't really matter if they split up or not because they want to force over this sentiment that we really care whenever a group splits up and over the brand split. Even though they never change most about their persona or who they interact with to really change their character, at least they tried to do a bit with Biggie where he gained a bit more of an attitude, a bit more of a personality, a bit more intensity. That really didn't change anything. He thanked the fans. He thanked Brody Lee. He and then of course the reference over the Bloodline and then the Usos in an interbrand tag team match. So it was Bloodline against the New Day. How we had so much stuff integrating with the brand split all because they don't care until October. I don't give a shit about the brand split in general if they're going to integrate this. Kofi Kingston was getting cornered early on the way. A lot of just flip-flop choreography because the New Day and the Usos has wrestled as much as my parents had sex. And there was some overpowered moves from Big E. Then Lashley came jumping people from the outside, hitting spears on both men. And then they issued over a triple threat match just so you can ease the tension before Extreme Rules. Why? Why not just punish Lashley for interfering in a match that he has to put his title on the line in the triple threat? Why integrate that? Why force that to just be a good triple threat match? It was necessary, and WWE always do this. It's not even 50-50 booking. Technically it is, because it's not getting either person over, and it's wasting over a 3-hour time period to cancel a match with no cost. They always do this dumb shit, and it never gets anybody a benefit. Why doesn't the match have a benefit and a punishment? Don't get it. Well, what's the authority figures for? Then we had Doo-Hop against Eva Maria because she looks like a plastic trans, bro. Eva Marie, it's good that she had some attention for the women's division. They've been wasting her talents, just having her feud with this fat piece of shit for the last few months, and it's just her jobbing out to her. Every time, what are they writing over for Doudrop? Congrats that you got married. Congratulations. I don't care. She just chased her around the ring and then hit her with a slam and then a big running splash. That's about it. But another squash match. Eva Marie gets no say. She doesn't even hire more people. They're not doing anything creative with the segment. It's not getting Doudrop over because nobody's really going to see an IG model getting squashed over by some fat chick, and the fat chick has no personality at the end. So Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce ranting over Big E's title win last week and suggested that he beats both Big E and Roman Reigns. Big E and Roman Reigns in a triple threat match. So what happens if he wins? If he pins him? Why does the Universal Champion need to get involved? Why doesn't Lashley just beat up the New Day? Or something else if he wants to earn a shot? That's literally what Lashley did. And then Riddle joined Orton. And hijinks can, when Orton told his tag team partners to focus on the big black guy and AJ Styles. Hey, okay, Randy. You mean the big slave? Wait, I never said that. Yes, he did. Yeah, yes, he did. Looking like a trans YouTuber. That's what Matt Riddle looks like. I'm sick and tired of him. He's dragging over his. He gets average matches, but his matches are always the same, and he just has no charisma. I understand why a younger demographic might like him, because he's just an idiot with just the hijinks of him fitting over this childlike content of WWE while NXT gets more adult. It's just not conflicting. This is prime TV. But no, we had Orton and AJ Styles for the 27 times. Like, you know how many times these guys wrestled each other? Back multiple times on SmackDown. Then, when they had a feud for WrestleMania. Then on Raw, like every other time. Like, you know how many times you saw Kurt Angle and Michaels wrestle? The 3 times, like 3 or 4 times you guys saw it, it was either on pay-per-view or a special event. I remember, I think it was episode 500 of Monday Night Raw. They had a fucking 30-minute Iron Man match. It was like a Raw anniversary special. Those are when you do those types of matches. At least they had a bit of chemistry. Head over to the turnbuckle. Riddle gets pounced and hit by Omos. And then Riddle trips up Omos. I counter off the phenomenal forearm. Styles. It's the same spot. They're catching over the same spot. Like, Styles is gonna get RKO out of nowhere, but he got it well scouted. He drops over an elevated DDT. Delivered an RKO. Won the match in a good match, but it's just it's kind of like regurgitated. Like, there's no story integrated in this other than it's a tag team feud, and they're always going to do this type of over-formulated schlock that because they're tag team, because it's a tag team match, that means one half of them has to wrestle each other every other week. So, and then we'll push in an 8-man tag or a gauntlet match, and that's it. I literally told you how they're going to book this feud for the next week or so before Extreme Rules. I am so proud to be watching this shit. Then we had Shayna Baszler against Nia Jax in a match. Like, at least this is different from them just, like, onward scuffling. In a package recapping that these women haven't been on the same page, even though they still talk to each other, even though they imploded like one time when they shoved off each other. There is stomps to the hand, hits over to the ring steps, a stomp on the arm. Nia Jax just getting instantly injured. Shayna Baszler, she just disrespected Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler is not my favorite wrestler. I don't care. Shayna Baszler, she sucks, but dude, I don't care about Nia Jax. If she gets in feuds that gets her in more agony and pain, I'll actually enjoy that. Sure, that doesn't make good TV. Like the same people who thought, it's a shoot fight. Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax, who cares? Because no one else watched. The entire crowd was quiet. Then we had Mustafa Ali versus, of course, Garza and Humberto Carrillo are related. They're cousins. So they're tag teams now. Yeah. This came out of nowhere. I'm being serious. And it's because Humberto has facial hair, and Garza hasn't been seen on TV in months. And this was a pretty okay back and forth. The only thing was, like, I don't think there was any pop in this. At all. To be honest. Like, moonsault, flippy shit. Average selling. I'd rather have Garza just stick roses up their asses and be heels. Like, good ones, too, because, these are just cruiserweights with no way to stand out, and they're just screaming over fate as, TV time with just generic matches. And they're possibly going to break up in 4 weeks. Then we had a title change on the night. Of course, this was a good Raw for fans because there was a title change. It was Nikki ASHIT against and the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley against Natalya and Tamina, that were jobbers even while tag team champions. Like, then they lose like 3 times to Tegan Nox and Shotzi, and then they never even issued a title match, and now randomly out of nowhere, out of pinning Natalya the last week, they earn a title shot. So I don't know how you guys keep correlating the tag belts. Why don't you just have them in one brand with more women in it? Just so you can spark an identity. You can have women tag and women belt and the women singles belt in one brand and like do something creative with the other brand. You don't need always women on the other brand to represent it. That's the thing. Ripley was stuck over on the outside while Nikki was stuck over with Tamina. There was a top rope splash from the on Tamina, and then there was a strike over with the knee. There was a strike over with the knees, and then it ended with the Riptide to win the match in an average pop. Like, get ready for an irrelevant title reign with the women's tag team belts. And I forgot Tamina and Natalya are still the women's tag team champions. Honestly, like what was the correlation of even having this title match when like you really debut all these women and they don't do crap? What's the correlation for that? That just shows it's a waste of energy if you're gonna get new people over and you're just gonna force over 2 women that don't even get over in house shows. Don't even sell as much merch as the next segment. So what's the point? I don't get the benefit here. Charlotte Flair and joins Alexa Bliss in her playground, and these women at least went in on each other, being like, how I came from main eventing WrestleMania to playing around with a doll. Of course, Alexa's showing that I might be silly, but you're still a bitch. And they call each other bitch. And you want to be calling me a kid, but you will be calling me champ. This was the better exchange because at least Alexa Bliss can talk. So that's the only positive that I'm pushing towards. Other than that, it was an average segment. A pretty average segment. Hopefully, the match is not disappointing, even though like after playing around with Charlotte Flair's doll again, it ends with her like scrapping around trying to feel like she's a scary midget because she is a scary midget Lolita weirdo, and the only people that like this is still Alexa Bliss stands that kind of like yandere weirdo passive aggressive women that want to beat up on somebody because they're lonely and possibly got friend zoned and possibly owns a Bullet Club shirt. Those are the only reasons why. Next, we have Jeff Hardy and Sheamus for a shot for the United States title. Well, I think Sheamus already issues an opportunity, but Jeff Hardy's just here because he just challenged for the 24/7 title, and then he got a random shot for the U.S. title the week prior, and now he has to beat Sheamus. And this was a fine match. Like an average couple-minute match, for fuck's sake, thank you. At the end, Sheamus, after Jeff hits over the Twist of Fate after a near fall off a knee strike, Jeff Hardy attempts over the Swanton Bomb. Sheamus got the knees up the counter. After Sheamus thought he can end it with the bro kick, Jeff counters with the roll up for the win. So I guess this is forcing over so Sheamus doesn't feel like regurgitated in the feud. And it ends over with a brawl with Damian Priest and Sheamus, even though Damian Priest didn't cost him the match and they just did this to move forward to a feud that no one cares about. A 50-year-old NXT jobber like feuds over with Sheamus that's also pushing 50 but gets better matches than him. And Jeff just correlated with a win out of no benefit. I think he earns a shot on Sunday. I hope Jeff wins or anything gets more involved on TV, because you make it like a former world champion that can still get over in 2021, and you try to push him out of screen time with Nikki ASH, whatever the fuck Alexa Bliss is doing. Why you think Ali in Mansoor need TV time, but Jeff Hardy, he just gets an average jobber match. I don't think there was even a segment correlating with Karrion Kross over his skullfuck weirdo promos that sound like he's trying to have a sex call with you, showing no charisma. Like I don't mind Karrion Kross. You can build something over with Karrion Kross. You can give him a character of him being a menacing, hit serial killer esque psychopath that doesn't need a championship to jump dudes. You can make a character out of that. I'm not trying to concede that because I don't think he's good doesn't mean you can't make a character out of it. That's stupid. That's just showing that you guys have a lack of faith in any of these dudes, and I'm not trying to say that. So that's practically my entire opinion on this show so far. And we're up to our main event. Main event. Main. It was a triple threat match, and it was a clash of one non-champion in it. So it was Bobby Lashley and Big E and Roman Reigns. And the benefit if Lashley wins, even though he already gets a shot for the WWE title, come Extreme Rules probably, is just to win. The sake of, I guess, a punishment after interfering in the 6-man tag. And that just shows that match openers on Raw ain't shit. And Raw ain't shit. But it was a fun match. It was a good triple threat match. I'll say that Big E had some average highlights, but Roman Reigns stole the show. Crazy Superman punch after crazy Superman punch. Actually using weapons to stop over the pin attempt was at least a bit more different. I don't know if it was better than earlier before. I think it was WrestleMania Backlash. Strowman, Lashley, and McIntyre had a cool triple threat match. By the way, where is McIntyre? Other than that, I don't think it was more entertaining as that, because those guys were going balls to the wall in this for the title. While this was just a basic triple threat that had some great back and forths, and Roman Reigns came with the unexpected spear after Big E hits over the big ending. And this match was at least worth watching. This was got at least an instant 1 million views over the main event, because it was like 3 top guys, even though one's from SmackDown, yet he's holding like 2 are from SmackDown, and it's not correlating with any consistent story. And it felt like nothing felt like game changing when you had like your 2 SmackDown guys holding world titles. Jeff Hardy in the semi-main event. You had a women's title change that nobody wanted to watch, in a tag team form that both guys aren't over. The only thing was Drake Maverick was on my screen trying to catch the Black Gremlin we call Reggie with the 24/7 title, falling unsuccessful, thinking that Drew Gulak has a character. The show was mediocre. It had good matches but no substance. Like, and any semblance of the word. I think if just for the sake of at least some optimism, if you want to see a cool match, I guess you can watch it back on YouTube or any other or any ways on Peacock or a website to see that triple threat match. It was pretty fun, but other than that, the show was pretty bad. But that's it coming from me. Thanks for watching, and if you're not watching pro wrestling, enjoy the rest of your day and life. You need to correct that. That's it for me.